Dolphins. History at Suncorp Stadium. They've beaten the Roosters 28 points to 18. The stadium erupts. The new boys with the 2 points.
Hello and welcome to Thursday Lines. I'm your host, Luke O'Brien, aka OB. Thursday Lines is proudly brought to you by Little Birdie TV and topsport.com.au, punting form and comics lounge. Round one of the NRL done and dusted. Bit of news to come out of round one. The Mickey Mouse practice matches are over for the AFL. We look forward to round one of the AFL in a couple of weeks' time. But round one of those, first of all, I say welcome to you, MG.
Hey, OB.
Good to be back, and we'll go to the NRL first. Round one saw a little bit of news up there. Coaches sooking, suspensions. The independent third doctor making Gus Gould and Ricky Stewart saying it's making a mockery of the game. I still think they're concussed. You can't keep Ricky Stewart out of the news up there, Toprope.
Well, we'll get to Ricky in a moment. I'm just pleased that the Mickey Mouse practice matches are over. We can get to the Mickey Mouse regular season matches for the AFL. That should be super exciting.
And that's all we've got time for the NRL
today. Look, I think there is something in it with the independent doctor in terms of the process of which is taking place, kind of viewing it remotely. The bunker, surrounded by, all the tenants in the bunker. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm also not a big fan of doing it without consultation with the club doctors as well. So I think the process can certainly be improved upon. Because at the end of the day, what's the ones that kind of being dragged off, it's the 50-50 ones, right? So whether you shorten the time they need to be off the field to get assessed, whether you look at consultation with the club doctors to see what they're seeing on the ground. I'm not sure what the answer is, but Ricky Stewart kind of conflated a player of his being taken off the field with the ineptitude of the NRL, the independent doctor, the Rugby League Players Association, the heat of Queensland. They all copped it under Ricky. So, look, I'm just pleased, rugby league season has well and truly arrived when Ricky Stewart's on the ramp.
Just on the independent doctor and the concussions, from an AFL perspective, we have an independent doctor sitting in the ARC as well, but they consult with the club doctor.
Yeah.
So and then the club doctor has the say. They pull them off, and they know them best. So they know, their baseline and everything like that. So I think that's one way to improve it, but I don't think it's for Gus and Ricky to really get their nose involved.
Absolutely not. There's, especially Gus, who's not only a renowned liberal user of the truth, but he is goes off the deep end quite a bit, and also has a whole amount of self-interest. Often working against each other, but I can't cop that. And there should be no call to kind of remove the independent doctor. Just how do they get it better? And because the incident was you look at the Kalen Ponga incident in the Warriors game. He didn't believe he was concussed. He was proven not to be concussed. The doctor at Newcastle didn't think he had to come off. You had a lot going on there. And consultation well done, and maybe there needs to be a two-tier approach to how these are looked at. If you go off, because at the end of the day, the doctor's never going to be 100% right on this. Players are going to come back on to protecting the safety, but you also don't want to get to a point where a grand final is decided by some haphazard, response to maybe some bad footage or something like that, when everyone at the ground is fairly sure that they're okay. So improve the process, but certainly going to be keeping an independent doctor.
So player safety is just important until there's a game on the line, basically, in the NRL. That's a consistency we're running with. That everyone's happy until they lose a game. That's what Ricky Stewart was up about. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been an issue, right?
If anyone saw the first Dawn of the Dolphins documentary, Wayne Bennett was very good, and he said, "We've got two rules: don't be late and stay out of jail." And he's flexible on the second one if he needs you to win a game. So
I heard that. And just on the Dolphins, they ripped into the competition, and I think Wayne Bennett has history there. I think 20 years ago, the Broncos he also won round one.
Yeah, 35 years ago there, OB. But he won in a very similar fashion, beat the defending premiers. Manly back then in 1988, and has done the same this year. Super performance. They won on energy alone. It was a silly line, silly betting in the game, but even the most optimistic Dolphins fan didn't think that they were a huge hope of winning the game. But played very, very well. A few question marks at the Roosters, but you saw the Dolphins lift. If they're going to win their games, they're probably going to win some early when they're all up and about and the depth isn't being tested and the like. So good start and a great coaching performance there from Wayne.
And MG, pre-season competitions over in the AFL. Everyone now has hopefully got a clean bill of health, no major injuries out of the pre-season competition. Although Ben Mackay will miss at the start of the season for North Melbourne. What did you take out of those pre-season games?
Yeah, grain of salt always. OB. There's plenty of chess matches going on and stuff like that. But yeah, coaches trying new systems and combination of players fighting for fitness and also the last chance they can show the coaches for getting a spot in round one. But yeah, overall there was some pretty good football played. But yeah, I think from a form point of view, I don't think markets change too much for round one. There was very few injuries over the weekend, so a lot of the coaches will be happy for that. And yeah, we'll have one more week of NRL that we've got to put ourselves through solo before we can get some real football going.
That's right, and I think that most teams would have been happy with how they perform. Maybe Richmond might have wanted to play a little bit better against Melbourne. Brisbane, we touched on last week, looked very good. Obviously, Geelong had a couple out, but I think the top end of the competition sort of holding up like we mentioned last week.
Yeah, I did want to get your take on the St Kilda early saga with Toprope will love this. He's one of his favourite coaches, Ross Lyons, back at St Kilda Toprope, and he's already causing drama. They've uploaded a coaches discussion after the practice game to a shared league-wide folder, and they've got now
absolute storm in a teacup. This is
they said it hasn't been passed on or no one downloaded or anything. That's BS.
Two clubs downloaded it.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that for a fact. Two clubs downloaded it.
So Toprope, this information and the language used and everything will be coming out at some stage. People have got it, and at the right timing, they will be releasing this. So
I'm sure it'll be on board, won't it?
Ross, the boss, has apparently clipped plenty of players in the early coaching.
So I heard yesterday he got on the front foot and he called the players into a meeting and said, guys, this audio has been uploaded. The players laughed and said, well, there's a few things I might have criticised a few players. He just let them hear it. And
that's not getting on the front foot. That's getting caught with your pants down.
That's on the front foot. On the front foot, and just said, guys, this is what's happened. Away we go. Storm in a teacup. None of those players will play this week. None of those players will play round one, so you can pick the team there. But
Toprope, get your pen out and put one through St Kilda because their season is gone
Storm
already.
In a teacup.
If that's your version of the front foot, there, OB, then I'd love to be bowling up and full at a decent pace to you because I'll get a few LBW decisions.
Yeah. As we let's get back onto on-field. Let's just move away from the Saints. But round one scores, Toprope. Anything sort of jump out at you there, or anything really catch your eye?
Yeah, a couple of close ones. I guess the low-scoring, close nature of round one was probably to be expected. But yeah, look, Storm winning in Golden Point against Parramatta, great game, great win there. Losing Cameron Munster for the Storm, big loss there. Warriors clipped the Knights 20-12. Broncos huge upset over the Panthers. Panthers well and truly behind in their preparation. Manly flogged the Bulldogs. Bulldogs embarrassing, worst kind I've seen Matt Burton play. Kick out, disastrous start. Cowboys held on against the Raiders 19-18. The Bunnies, too good for the Sharks 27-18, but the Sharks won't lose any fans from their effort there. Dolphins, huge upset over the Roosters 28-18, and the Titans upset the Tigers like 22-10. Tigers very, very poor, and some strange coaching decisions. Newly appointed captain Api Coruscant dumped to the bench to start again.
As we look to the bookie wrap from round one, 5 from 8 favourites got up at 63%. The cover was 4 and 4 from 8 at 50% over and under. Just lagging a little bit there, Toprope in the home team, 4 from 8. So nice start, but still a little bit of improvement in the Toprope.
depends on your view there. I bet if you're back in the unders this weekend, like I was, it was a little too high scoring for me. So, no, it was a good, tough first week, and not the easiest punting week, but we fight on. We got our nose in front, which was nice. So, on to round 2.
A bit more scoring wouldn't go Australia. I know that the TV rights have just forked out millions and millions of dollars. Would love a few more ads, but that's okay. We'll get a couple of field goals in there to keep a few people happy anyway.
The record TV ratings for round 1 certainly suggested otherwise. There was certainly no complaints from fans of the greatest game of all. That's for sure.
Yeah. Wait till Australia's favourite sport is back.
There's a low bar record.
Very low base against the NBL. Yeah. God, give me a spell. Anyways, we look to other sports. The fourth test starts today. The Aussies won the third test. Could be the biggest crowd in test history. Not sure if it's a political rally or a test match, but anyway, we'll get through that. Make sure you log on to topsport.com.au for all your cricket odds. The golf last week was an absolute beauty. The Arnold Palmer Invitational. Kitayama held off a hot field at 9 under to win by 1 shot. This week sees the TPC Sawgrass, the TPC Players Championship at Sawgrass in Florida. 43 of the top 50 players in the world playing. Last year's defending champion Cameron Smith not there. Toprope, have you got a bit of value for us there in the golf at TPC Sawgrass?
Yeah, love this tournament. Great tournament. Of course, defending champ Cam Smith won't be there. I thought Rory's very, very short. John Rahm as well. I'm going to Matt Homer. $19 playing very, very well at the moment. He's a proven winner, something you want to see. He has won 6 PGA tournaments now. He comes off a very good California swing. Played here twice, finished T13 last year, his second ever running here. To succeed here, you need a good all-round game. He's 3rd in putting average, 9th in strokes gained tee to green, 7th scrambling, 10th in bogey avoidance. If we're going a bit wider, I'm going to go Brian Harman. I don't reckon you'll find about 125 to 1 shot this week, or any week from Brian Harman. Course guides, he goes very well here. The Travellers, another Pete Dye course up there. Top 8 the last 2 years. He has a very good short game. He's a very good putter. Avoids bogeys. I'm very confident we're going to see a good show from Brian Harman. So we're playing him in the win top 5, top 10, top 20 markets.
And MG, you're a bit of a golf aficionado there. Who do you like?
Not an aficionado. I'm an enthusiast. I like my round of golf. Yeah, no, I like Cantlay at $18. I like how he's going recently, and one a bit of value I like to check with Toprope. He's an Irishman, but he is a Florida resident, and they tell me that people who live in the area go well on this course, as Toprope I think alluded to. So Lowry at $56. He was his last 2 years, I think he was tied 8th and tied 13th. So a bit of value there. I think he's worth an each-way ticket.
Brooks Koepka, is he playing or is he banned as well through the because he's a Florida resident? That's all we saw when he was in the full swing, was just his house and his boat. But anyway, I know his wife was in it. That's all I sort of noticed. Anyway, now it's time for Thursday Lines, brought to you by topsport.com.au. Family owned and operated for 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with topsport.com.au. As we sort of have a look at the Premiership prices, MG, for the AFL. Any changes after the practice games? It's all been pretty steady there.
Yeah, we put them up last week and had a bit of a go at them. I thought the value line was probably Brisbane on the third line there, and on Richmond at the $8. I think you can get $8, $9 around the traps, but Melbourne were probably the only short, and obviously beating Richmond in the practice match OB, so that was $6.50, maybe into $6. But other than that, and a few of the outsiders are starting to drift, and they'll get out to big odds really quickly. So yeah, I think your winner will pretty much come from that front page.
And the season starts next Thursday night. Richmond versus Carlton, the Tigers there. And an early look at the market. The Tigers $1.67, the Blues $2.20, the line -5.5. Anything take your fancy early on?
Yeah, we just thought we'd put them up because it's only 7 days away, so people might start taking multis into from the NRL from Toprope's tips this week. So yeah, the traditional start, Richmond and Carlton next week. Yeah, I don't know. I think this market's starting to fluctuate around a bit, and yeah, I think market's probably spot on, but probably going to go with Richmond at this stage. But we'll go through in depth next week.
And we look at Toprope, the GGOA results from last week. How'd you go in week 1 there, Toprope?
Yeah, nose in front, OB, nose in front. We the 7 bets, 4 winners. The Manly Bulldogs game proved a disaster. Missed a total and the side on that one, but most of the rest was pretty solid, including the Dolphins getting the job done. So, nose in front and onwards and upwards for round 2.
Beautiful. As we look to round 2 action of the NRL, a beauty of a game tonight. Penrith $1.54 against the Rabbitohs $2.48. The line -4.5, over under 38.5. That game is 8 p.m. tonight. That looks an absolute beauty on paper, Toprope.
Yeah, great game, and plenty of spice being thrown on as well. Penrith have eliminated South the last 2 years, the grand final 2 years ago, the prelim last year. But Latrell Mitchell has come out this week and said cracks starting to appear in the windscreen. Penrith are brushing it off, but I think Latrell. Yeah, I love Big Trell, and look, he's right. I don't know that they're not reparable, but there's no doubt that Penrith are behind in their preparation. They had 20 players at the World Cup. They've got a very short pre-season to adapt to life. Not only that, Appy Cross, but they clearly struggled with that Billy Over kick out last week. We saw that blow-up post-game between Luai and Jamin Salmon. So, interesting. I think South are up and about for this one. I think, ambush is the wrong term because Penrith will be waiting for it to come, but good spot for the buddies here. Covered 8 of 11 as an underdog, and just a little number here for all the punters out there. Underdogs of 4 or more in the first 2 rounds cover at 61%. So I'll be on the buddies this one, getting the 4.5.
Beautiful. As we look at the early game on Friday night, is the Eels and the Sharks. Both teams coming off a loss last week, but 2 great games against the Storm and the Bunnies. The Eels $1.50, the Sharks $2.60, the line -5.5, over under 40.5. Anything take your fancy there, Toprope?
Yeah, got as much as one of the better betting games of the week. I'll be backing the Sharks +5.5 and the over 40.5 here. Round 2 teams off a loss of 7 or more tend to be severely underrated. They cover at 64%. The Eels have covered just 4 of their last 12 as a favourite of 4 or more. The Sharkies have covered 6 of 9 as a dog of 4 or more. Give me the Sharks here. No Nico, no problems. Braden Trindle played very well last week. They're a bit stiff to lose by 9 of them, the Sharks. They played pretty well and had their moments, had their chances. So, but love the over here too. Parramatta 18 and 10 to the over off a loss. The Sharks 16 and 8 to the over off a 7+ loss. So, few angles to play here, but the Sharkies in the over.
Beautiful, nice. I love it when Toprope gets into stats and gets into the detail. It gets my juices flowing. As we look at the later game on Friday night, is the Queensland Derby. The Broncos $1.77, the Cowboys $2.05, the line -2.5, over under 41.5. Should be nice and greasy at 8 o'clock on a Friday night up there at Suncorp.
Oh, look, they run the same vibe at the Caston Hotels they do at Suncorp. Nice and greasy come 8 o'clock. I was surprised to see the Broncos open favourites here. I know they're at home. I know they come off that good win against the Panthers, but one win doesn't make a season. The Cowboys started significantly short than the Broncos this year. I think they're a significantly better team. Won 4 of the last 5 head-to-head, 2 of the last 3 at Suncorp. Scored 38+ in the 2 games last year. So Broncos failed to cover their last 4 as a favourite, and home favourites often in round 1. In round 2, 12 and 23 against the number. Only thing in their favour. Broncos have covered 4 or 5 under Ashley Klein, and we all know he likes to referee games. So probably with the Cowboys, this one. Best bet, though, the over. These 2 have a long history of over games, 10 and 3. The last 13. The over is 9 and 1 when the Broncos off conceding 12 or fewer, 10 and 4 when the Cowboys off a win. Yeah, I think there'll be plenty of points this one.
And it only took to the second half of show number 2 for Ashley Klein to get a run. So well done, Toprope. I didn't know why it'd take you so long. But anyway, as we look to the Storm's first home game here in Melbourne against the Bulldogs on Saturday night, the Storm $1.37, the Bulldogs $3.10, the line -7.5, over under 38.5. The Storm were very impressive in their golden point win over the Eels, and the Bulldogs were very disappointing against Manly. One-way traffic here, Toprope?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought the betting this game is very, very wrong. Love betting against that kind of team coming off a big win. Look very impressive against team coming against a rubbish team. Always like to be at the rubbish team getting a big start. Also notable, Pappenhausen out, Olam out. Plenty of others out. Joining that list, Cameron Munster, who was their best player last Friday night, Cameron Munster. So missing two key playmakers here, the Storm. We mentioned home favourites off a win in round 2 have an awful record. Teams off a big loss in round 1 playing on the road have a great record. Got to be with the Dogs here at the line. Canterbury can't be that bad again. Like they've got too much. This isn't the Bulldogs teams of the last few years. They've just been filled with rubbish players who can kind of keep turning this out. There's plenty of talent there. I expect they'll turn it around pretty quickly. And I think this line is too big.
Oh, that's great to hear. As we look towards the Sunday game, it's the Dragons and the Titans. The Dragons $1.95, the Titans $1.85, the line 1.5, over under 39.5. You'd have to be a brave person to be wanting to watch this one, Toprope.
You could either be a brave person or a gambling winner. Either way, you'll be pretty heavily involved in it. So, needless to say, I'll be watching it all, including any golden points and post-game press conferences. I cannot believe the betting in this one. My best of the week, the Dragons. I've got them in the bottom 2 this year. I think they're an ordinary team, but they come off a bye. All their focus has been on this game. Gold Coast last week, they were down in Sydney. They beat the Tigers. I love the preparation that the Dragons have for this. Cogra, they're a different team. They've covered 7 of the last 8 at Cogra. They've covered 5 of their last 7 as a favourite at Cogra. 10 of the last 15 as a favourite. Not favourites at the moment, but they were, and I anticipate they're going to get back into that. So Titans not renowned as being a strong road team. Yeah, I'm going to be with the Dragons. And just a little referee stat here for you. If you want to back a home team, do it under the refereeing of Chris Sutton, a home team here at 61% cover rate for home teams, Chris Sutton. So a little number for you there. So a little tidbit. So Dragons for me.
Beautiful. As we look ahead to the final 3 games of the round, the Roosters $1.25, the Warriors $4, the line minus 12.5, over under 44.5. Anything there, Toprope?
Yeah, number here too big. It's 14.5 to 12.5. The Roosters missing plenty of players. Get Joe Murray back this week, but they've lost Matthew Lodge among others. Absolutely no way you could take the Roosters. They've covered 11 of 27 as a double-digit favourite. Give me the Warriors.
It'd be interesting to see how the Dolphins go game number 2 after the hype of game 1. They're at 2.45 against the Raiders, 1.55. The line 4.5, over and under 42.5. That game is the early evening game on Saturday.
2 things here since 2008. Home underdogs of 4 or more in the first 2 rounds of the year, 27 and 14 against the spread, which the Dolphins were on the frame. And they won last week based on having a lot of energy, playing their first game at Suncorp. They go back to Redcliffe this week, playing KO Stadium, debuting there in front of their Redcliffe faithful. They're going to be up and about for this one. The plus 4.5 is a very good bet.
As we look to the final game for our show is the Tigers and the Knights. I'd hate to be the loser here. Could be the early coach sacking market of Toprope could get a little bit of could shorten significant here. The Tigers $1.70, the Knights $2.15, the line minus 2.5, over under 42.5.
Well, one of the coaches in this one looks like he's on the verge of having some major Alzheimer issues. And the other one is Adam O'Brien, so I don't have a lot of faith in either game plan going into this one. This is the game of the week. I've got absolutely no idea. I'd probably rather be on the outside if I back anyone, but I definitely never want to be with Adam O'Brien again. So luckily I won't have too many opportunities to do that in the near future because he will be resold very quickly. Pretty going to be probably over. But, yeah, one for the desperates. So, I'll be on the over.
And you probably have to go Coruscant first try scorer. Surely going to start on the bench again.
Surely not. What an absolute jab that was.
Oh, absolute disgrace that. But anyway, Tim Sheens, he tried to downplay it after the game, but he had no idea as usual. Toprope, thank you very much. A great analysis again for week 2 of the NRL. A reminder that the GGOA can be located in the Little Birdie Live shop for all your NRL betting action for $33 a week. There's some Futures Punters Seasons Guide for $66 or the season package for $775. Toprope, as always, thank you very much. It's a great, I love it when you get into stats, love it when you get into the detail and you're up and about.
Oh, absolutely delightful to be back, boys. It's I think we knocked out the cobwebs last week and fully firing this week, and there won't be a week go by where Ashley Klein doesn't cobber backhanded. Don't worry about that.
Enjoy your last week of a bit of airtime before the AFL comes back. So enjoy it this week. And MG, thank you as always. The AFL Stings available for $25 a week, or the yearly Stings for $499. The Little Birdie Live shop for all your AFL betting action. There's also some AFL Futures season punters guide for $66, which will be released
today.
Beautiful. So that will be on the Little Birdie live shop. But thank you, MG. Thank you, Toprope. That's a wrap for this week's Thursday Lines. Thanks to the two experts in MG and Toprope. You can follow us on YouTube. Find us in the Apple Store, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to all your good podcasts. Follow at Little Birdie TV on Twitter and Instagram. Remember, all your footy betting action can be found at topsport.com.au. Join us next week, but punt well, punt responsibly, and have a great weekend, punters.